How to uncook your brain is a question that lots of people ask themselves in a realistic way, of course, because lots of people, they just say, oh, but stop using your phone, stop doing this, stop doing that, but it's not realistic. Lots of people, they just say shit for clicks. It's not realistic. So I'm going to give you some quick and realistic advice on how I achieved the uncooking of my brain in the span of, like, let's say 4 months. That's how I was able to detach myself from being a person addicted to everything to a person addicted to slow connections. And you first need to identify the problem, which is your dopamine being cooked. It's your phone. That's obvious, right? It's the internet. The phone is the problem. Lots of people know this. They don't want to do anything about it because it feels, well, again, good and slow is bad and fast is good. Lots of people have their dopamine ruined because of the quick and immediate connections on our receptors in our brain that attract dopamine or that make dopamine. Because if you condition your brain to only accept cheap and instant relief or entertainment, which is quick and where you learn nothing, like Instagram Reels, TikTok, whatever, then the information goes out one ear and in one ear, and in your brain and out your brain. It stays in your short-term memory and you don't learn anything. It's quick, it's over, it's cheap. That's why you keep scrolling all the time. Again, other examples are rapid fire simulations, games, whatever. The pros of this, obviously it's fast and easy to achieve and to obtain. But the bad part is that you just fry, like I said, your dopamine receptor so badly to the point where you are conditioned to only accept fast dopamine. And when you are fast and used to something fast, then you will hate the slow because it fails in comparison to the fast. And the mental fog that you get from this is exhaustion. Lots of people watch the phone until late at night, early in the morning, and then they wonder why they slept bad or they don't feel good. Well, maybe it's because there is this one thing in your life that takes up like 90% of your time, which makes it impossible for you to achieve some delayed dopamine or slow dopamine because you condition your brain in a certain way to cook your brain. Now, slow dopamine, like I said two seconds ago, is the dopamine that you receive from delayed actions. And these are in the real world, and they are worth it. Like friendships, relationships, exercise, eating well, sleeping 7 to 8 hours, drinking water. Like inherently, these will impact your life, not instantly, and that's why they don't feel as good to lots of people, but they will impact you over time. But because of your dopamine receptors being fried so badly, you don't even look at the pros in the future because you're stuck in the present with the fast and easy dopamine. So how do you fix this? Well, you need to look at the dopamine in your life as instant and cheap versus long and an investment. Because if you feel good in the present, that you might think, logically speaking, if I keep feeling good in the present about the dopamine I'm consuming, it can't be that bad. But the reality is that you are achieving unprecedented rates of cheap dopamine to the point where any future growth in life will not feel like growth, but feel like a hassle. And the thing is that you don't form meaningful connections that way. And if you're a teenager, you don't need to have meaningful connections necessarily to anything apart from, let's say, school and your phone. But the more life goes on, you will have to value slow form of dopamine because that's what society demands of people. Now, you can decide to listen to Andrew Tate or all those motherfuckers and think to yourself, oh, but I don't need fast dopamine. I just need to get rich. Crypto, bullshit. You will not be able to achieve anything if you just watch reels. That's the thing. And life around you will change and you won't change. But you will change because life around you changes, which means that you, in comparison, will be worse off because you will be less used to the life in the future. And that's why, again, there is another reason for your dopamine being fried, and it's also really bad, is because you don't realistically know what life brings you until it's too late when it comes to delayed dopamine or delayed actions. And psychologically speaking, you have the side effects of watching, those miscellaneous websites. They teach your brain that whenever you have a sexual feeling in your mind, in your body, to exert it because of because of you watching certain things. And that's bad because, again, you are frying and basically equating sexual feeling in your mind and in your body to instant gratification, which means that you will be numb in the future to getting a relationship, a friendship, or other things, because on your phone, on this motherfucker, you are used to getting everything so quickly. So not only do you put impossible standards on yourself that way, and in your future also you will achieve impossible standards to preach and to, achieve, but you also just fry your dopamine receptors on what is logically applicable in your life. Lots of people have unfair, realistic, and unrealistic standards of people and interactions that they have because of the internet. People think and shoot higher than they deserve when it comes to relationships because of this, both men and women. In women, it comes over the internet as more bitter, and for men as well, very bitter in the form of incels. Lots of incels and their problems will be fixed if they gave women of their attractive levels a chance, but they don't because their dopamine receptors are fried again because of watching miscellaneous websites and jerking off to motherfucking Sophie Rain or some shit. You know what I mean? And if they just gave people of their attractive level a chance, they could go further, but they would never know because, again, they fry their brain so badly that it's impossible to achieve this. And that's another reason why it's so important to uncook your brain, is you need to just get used to doing things for the future and not for the present. Because the present is not forever, but the future that you invest in will become your present in the future, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Think about it, chase it, but realistically, because otherwise you're gonna fall back on your cheap dopamine. And if your cheap dopamine levels are here and your slow dopamine or delayed dopamine is here, you can't cut it out. You can't. That's impossible. That's like asking someone who's abused drugs his whole life to just quit because it's bad. Like, they know it's bad. They don't care. You need to gradually change the things that you watch and listen to, because it becomes bad over time. And if you just lessen what you already have and heighten what you need, that's how the change will feel more natural. Because in a certain feeling, you don't know what to do about an uncertain topic about life, like achieving slow dopamine, when you're only used to the short dopamine, the instant. So you need to have gradual change happen, just like lots of things in life, by the way. If you want change to happen, make it gradual and not instant, because then you will fail and you will go back to the instant dopamine. And that's basically what I wanted to talk about today.